Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacconiana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we are going to continue our project to clear these old aluminum block petrol lighters of the degraded flint that is likely resting inside of the flint tubes. We've already completed this project on these two, and they both need help with the wick, so we're going to replace the wick on both of those. Still have a few here to clear these flint tubes on and just see. Got lucky there that the screw stuck to my screwdriver rather than flying across the room. But we're just going to clear these tubes and see whether or not they need re-wicked once we get them sparking. Looks like a new lighter. So after removing that flint spring, we will put our 3/32 drill in the tube, and it appears that this lighter is actually already clear. There is no degraded flint in that tube, so we should be able to install a flint and drop that straight down the tube. There's no tip or stop on this spring. It looks like it will work in either direction. And then reinstall our inset screw here. Get that grooved going in the proper direction. And then we will take our precision screwdriver and tighten the screw on down. That is a little bit stiff on the roller, so we're going to back this off just a little. See if we can get a hold of this wick and pull it up. While the wick does not appear to have been used, or at least if it has, it is very clean. As you can see, what will typically happen in these wicks that are degrading or no longer suitable to sustain the kind of flame that you need, they're going to come apart on you. That's not necessarily a good thing, because that is fibers of asbestos that could be getting sprung into the air. And I don't really know that for a fact. There's probably no way to know for a fact exactly what kind of materials. You can see it is still coming apart. While there is no way to know exactly what kind of materials were used in a specific wick, especially in these petrol lighters, these aluminum block lighters that do not even have a brand or maker marked on them. So going to give it another attempt or two here to pull this up. There we go. So, while I don't like the fact that wick pulled apart there and left us with a few small fibers, we're just going to go ahead and wrap those up in this common household disinfectant cloth, and we're going to throw that in the trash. Whether or not it's actually got asbestos in it or not, we're going to treat it as if it does. Now, since it looks like we've got enough wick there to at least give this a shot, go ahead and remove one of our fill screws, as this particular lighter has two of them. This is an advertising aluminum block Petrol lighter, and one of the more attractive lighters in this group of aluminum blocks that I acquired recently. One of the more unique anyway. You don't see a lot of aluminum block lighters that are adorned with advertising. I'm not saying they don't exist, because they do, and there were a few in that group, but I especially like this one because it's not just some off engraving. It is an actual, looks like very thin sheet metal disc that has been applied that has the advertising printed on it, and then that is inset into a little recess there in the lighter. Miller Products Company, Des Moines, Iowa. Looks like that is a bicycle kickstand and pedal. Saw that fuel all absorb as we sat here talking about the lighter, and then it is absorbing the rest of that as well. Once it stops absorbing it, we'll shake out the excess. Get our fuel screw back in place, and then give it a whirl and see if it will light and what kind of job that wick does of sustaining a flame. Figure while we're doing this, we'll go ahead and loosen this front fuel screw, because, well, actually I guess the other one was the front one, so that's going to be closer to the wick. We'll just see exactly how saturated this is. We can always shake out the excess before we try to ignite it. And it is not real quick to absorb, so maybe we are close to our saturation point with this wadding, and I believe we are, as we've got fluid coming out the top. So we will shake this off camera, get our second fuel screw back in place. Tighten down. Get this wiped off of any excess fuel. It's a pretty cool little lighter. Advertising aluminum block petrol lighter. And not too bad. So it looks like that'll light well enough to give us an idea here. Maybe this is the first one of these that we will not have to change the wick on. Until next time.